Saturday like for you? Obviously, you never want to see somebody go down like that, but for you to have that moment on senior day and for kind of how much you've spent and invested in this program, what was that like?
Right, yeah. It was really special. To go out there and contribute, and just, it's a thing every day to be a part of. It's so special to be part of this group every day. It's not just that game. It's day in, day out, whatever day of the week it is. But especially on that day and my family out there, the stakes of that game, what that game meant to us is a room, especially, owning a line of scrimmage, that it was really special to contribute to that in a big way. Yeah.
How do you mentally stay tuned in that way for that long, Charlie, when you would have had options this last offseason to pursue a greater playing opportunity if you wanted, but to stay engaged all year round just for the opportunity that could come up like it did or could come up this week? How do you mentally stay attuned to that for 10 months for the hope, not that somebody goes down, but the hope that you could get a chance like that?
Right. Good question. It's just part about trusting the process. This is my fifth year here, and I've stuck to that the entire time I've been here. I've trusted my coaches, my teammates. They've all believed in me, and I'm a firm believer in that you don't have to be a starter and play every snap to contribute to a team. Whether you're the award winner on the line or you're the last guy up. You all have a role in the team, and whether that be in practice, giving scout looks. I did for my first 2 years here, or playing this backup role these last couple of years. They're all very integral parts to this. So staying ready, staying locked in, and just being able to be just present as much as you possibly can, regardless of your role. It's a blessing to be here. Coach Terry always tells us that the dreams you had 10, 15 years ago, you dreamed to be in these seats regardless of how much you were playing or what your opportunity was. So just actually being present in this building with these guys is enough of a blessing to want to show up every day and try to be the best version of myself.
Kind of speaking on that, you've obviously had quite the journey here at Oregon. Obviously, as that kind of comes to a close, regular season, potential postseason aspirations. I'm just wondering, with the Thanksgiving holiday, what are you most thankful for about your entire time being here? And maybe if we can more condense that down, what are you most thankful for about being here in this moment in this season with this group?
Hmm. Uh, I'm extremely thankful for my family, more than anything. They, including the guys here in this room, they have given me nonstop belief and trust in myself since the moment I walked in the door. All the coaches here, and at this very point in the season, is a room with what we've accomplished so far and what we still have in front of us to do. It's a blessing. A lot of teams and a lot of groups aren't playing for a whole lot at this time. So with the games we have in front of us, Washington and everything on every game is, the most important game of the season. And to have that kind of mindset at this point in the season is a blessing, and just very thankful to be having these competitive days at practice, in meetings. Everything matters here every second of the day, and it's a blessing. Yeah.
How does this week of preparation change for you, if at all, knowing that maybe this is going to be a game you're starting? How has this week been, I guess?
Yeah, preparation hasn't changed at all. I prepared the same way I did last year, up to this very point, and the standards only elevated. So whether I was, going into USC last week, like preparing like I'm going to start, and 3 years ago when whoever we played the first game of the year, I was preparing like I was going to start. Coach Terry emphasizes that throughout the our entire year. Prepare like you're going to start, because you never know when your number is going to be called, and if it is, you better hope you're ready. So not a whole lot's changed this week personally for me, but we know the stakes of this game. We know what's at stake. We know how important it is for the people that have played here, the people that are going to play here, the people that are here right now. But everybody's attacking it with the same intensity we have all season.
I agree. I think it was the most I've seen you guys pull the center on run plays all year. What was it about, especially on those counter looks, that you guys felt like you were finding the success on the ground there?
Yeah, it's just a look they were giving us. We practice it a lot. Everything that shows up on Saturday shows up in practice for us. And that's really important, because if you want to go out there and do this, kind of special block, special look, you have to have the reps of it. And yeah, they were just giving us a look that we love to have. And we just took full advantage of it. And if you saw it out there on the game Saturday, it was happening in practice all week.
Stands out most on the second touchdown to Kenyon, but just how many practice reps all year round had you had with Fox at left tackle and Kavika at right tackle?
I was made this point to both of them actually on the game Saturday. I don't remember the last time we had three guys on the second unit in at one time in an important time in the game like that. And to answer your question, like not a whole lot with with E-Man at guard and Dave at guard as well. Fox and Kavik and I have been working all year together in the spring and through the summer and right now, and it's really fun to be out there with them because I know whatever combination is out there, we're gonna get it right. Everybody's got the same common goal of just showing up and being the best version of ourselves and as a unit and upholding the standard. So whoever's out there, I know they got my back and I got theirs too.
Last week was a pretty highly contested game emotionally on both sides. This week it probably ramps up even more just knowing the two opponents. How do you guys balance the fine line of playing with as much aggression as possible, but not getting hit with those extracurricular penalties?
Right. Yeah. We've got to do a better job this week of that. We've harped on that this week ever since we, came back on Sunday and looked at the film, even in the post meeting on Saturday, right after the game, we knew that was an emphasis we would have to do, especially going into this week. So it's understanding that we can control what we can control and, play between the whistles and that you let your play do the talk and everything else will take care of itself.
Probably can't tell your whole journey without touching on what happened last year. Just kind of you're in the lineup, you're out of the lineup. What did you learn? How did you grow? And kind of what did you learn about yourself maybe through the adversity of that whole experience?
Yeah. I would say that the biggest mind shift change that has happened in the last year for me has been I'm looking at everything as an opportunity now rather than a challenge. So whether it be a hard period in practice or a hard look in a game or something goes wrong in a game, something goes wrong in practice, I'm looking at it as an opportunity to get better now. I'm not looking at it as something that's in my way that I have to struggle and fight through, regardless of the result that happens on a play or a series or anything like that. It's an opportunity to come back and work on it and get even better. So just that mindset change of, this play you have right now is, thank God you don't get hurt. It's not your last play. You have something to go. You have another play to go get it right. And that's, that shift for me has been huge this last year.
Dante was saying last game that when Contra goes down, you come in the huddle, he looks you dead in your eyes and says, like, everybody's got your back 100%. We believe in you. Just what was that moment like for you and what kind of confidence that give you for the rest of the game to just kind of have, immediately your quarterback saying, hey, we all are behind you here?
Yeah. Dante's one of the best leaders I've ever been around and made a huge impact for me in that moment. I always, take a deep breath before I go out there, practice game, whatever it may be. But, have him look in my eyes and everybody kind of just looking at me and, taking a breath like we know what's at stake here. We know what just happened and, belief in you, ready to roll, like gives you all the confidence in the world when you have all 10 guys you're working with, they believe in you. It's a great feeling. And, Dante's, again, one of the best leaders I've ever been around, and he treats everybody with that same kind of respect and that kind of admiration, which is really, really special.
2 years ago, you obviously got to experience what Husky Stadium was about. And I know, obviously, different team, different roster, just different stakes in those moments. But what do you remember from that game, and how have you maybe tried to impart some of that wisdom to some of the other guys that are maybe going to be able to experience what that is for the first time this weekend?
Yeah, I'll say the one thing I remember most from that game is everybody rushing on the field once the whistle blew. So I've been trying to tell everybody about that, what that means, what that feeling's like. Not a great feeling at all. One of the worst feelings I've ever had in my career, And I'm just trying to reiterate that to some of these guys, some of these young guys here, who've had so much success and haven't been able to experience, a loss like that before. And that stadium is it's a very loud stadium, very very imposing, very large. And we've been doing our best this week to create that environment in practice. And we've done a really good job of that, and we feel prepared. We're working on a lot, and but just being able to reiterate that kind of feeling of loss, and standing on that field, and feeling that kind of feeling that pain after, like trying to just bring that emotion up in everybody here, that especially that wasn't there in 23. Yeah.
You're a Jesuit guy. There's a couple Jesuit guys on this team, and your head coach was the most successful coach in high school football here.
Yeah.
He's sent a lot of guys here. Can you just speak to maybe just his impact and what Ken Potter meant for high school football, your football, and working football?
Yeah. I was hoping I get the chance to talk about this. Obviously Ken Potter just retired. That was my head coach in high school for all 4 of my years. That is one of the greatest leaders of men I've ever been around in my life. and he taught me more off the field than he ever did on the field about football. For him, it was more about creating the best possible version of yourself as a man you could be for your family and for the people around you, more than just football. And that was really special because, I mean, when he would talk to you in hallways, when he would pull you guys aside during lunch, it was rarely about football. It was just, how's your day going? Let's hang out more. Let's do these things with these guys. Like, he was an amazing leader of men, and I'm so blessed to have been able to play for him. And his legacy at Jesuit will live on for forever. He's seriously one of the greatest people I've ever been around, and everyone who was able to be coached by him was touched by him. And I firmly believe that he was one of the greatest coaches that's ever coached Oregon high school football. And he's gonna have a lasting impact on me for just how I want to be able to treat people in my life and how I want to lead people in my life.
Last one here, thanks.
What's allowed the running game to be that much more effective this year, Charlie? Because obviously the line was very good last year, and y'all are very good again. But guys go down, doesn't matter who goes in, and the running back group was talented last year. Out of necessity, the last couple of games, you guys have been leaning so heavily on it. Teams know it's coming, and you're still putting up huge numbers. So why is it that the run game's been that much more effective?
Yeah, I'd say it's a combination of the scheme our coaches have been putting together. We're really, really dialed in on what our opponent's doing and how we're going to be able to attack that. And, in the moment, I'd say more than ever this year on the sideline, we're able to adjust on the fly. Everybody knows if something doesn't go right. Okay, we got another drive coming up. Let's figure out, everybody take a breath on the sideline. We're going to fix it. And I also say that's one of our standards, or a part of our standard has always been imposing our will. And I think this unit is very good at doing that. I think we take a lot of pride in it, owning the line of scrimmage. And I think we know that everywhere we go, people are going to have it out for us, and they're going to try to, do the same thing back to us. But we know that's at stake everywhere we go, and we accept it as a challenge, and we're happy to be a part of it.